All right, we hope you enjoyed all those action-packed commercials. Not quite as action-packed as what we have going on here today.
No.
Yeah. Really, really good match coming up. Actually, quite a lot bet on this one, I've noticed. There wasn't a ton being put on those first two match series of the day, but we were already up to 84 billion for PL versus Exodus on EVBet.
84 billion. Is there any description of how that's distributed?
Very, very heavily to PL. PL is, you only get 1.14 back. Exodus, you get 4.29.
The interesting fact here is, of course, that on evbet.com, I mean, it doesn't, the betting for this particular match still
Doesn't close
hasn't
for 40
closed.
minutes.
It doesn't, so
You may be able to keep betting on this until after the match finishes.
Yes, perhaps.
So,
but even
someone better
normally
make a mistake.
when there is nothing wrong with the betting system there, they allow bets until the very last minute. Actually, talking to Scriptic, who kind of runs the site there earlier, he said that over half of the bets traditionally get put on the last 5 minutes.
That's probably because over half the bets get put after they hear us talking about what's going on.
Exactly. So if you hear anything here from the comment, that's a reason why I have one tab open in Twitch TV, another tab open on evbet.com. There you go.
And
That's why we're not allowed to bet.
That is why we're not allowed to bet.
what we've heard from CCP Veritas, and this is what we think happened. He believes that we have basically a tool where you put the bands in, and we believe that he simply only filled one of them in by mistake instead of filling both of the bands in. So which is why Pandemic Legion only have them all.
So for any of these 3 teams remaining that'll have to deal with this, if you're listening to this, there's be 2 drop-down boxes. If you're the middle banner, you have to select both of them and then hit submit. You don't select one and then hit submit, and then select the other and hit submit.
Yes.
You have to select both of them first, and then you hit submit.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Seamus talking about it, and you know, he's an old man, older than I am, so it's sometimes for us hard to see what's on the screen. And he said that he's missed the second box. Previously, he thought, okay, I'm banning one. I'm the guy who's banning one, then waiting, and then banning another one.
Yes.
And you know, we old people, we make mistakes.
All right. Well, that is a bit of a shame, but could also turn out to be an advantage. Like
We'll have
this.
to see. Yeah.
No.
This. All right. All right. Fair enough.
Go on ebet.com now and bet against PL. It's my advice.
Of course, always a disadvantage to not get it. Conversely, Exodus have basically all but said we want to bring dummies.
Right, PL knows exactly what they need to do.
Yes.
Still, triple dummies. I mean,
It's not fun to play against. So what's a good setup against triple dummies?
Another triple dummies.
Yeah.
It works pretty well.
another triple dummies is okay. It's good. Some kind of heavy blaster, massive damage setup that we've seen before.
Yeah. We were talking. Yeah, we were talking a bit yesterday. If you were facing a Dommy Tinker, Vangles are actually something that would work pretty well, which are a tournament prize ship from the same year as the Malice, the Crucible that went with it, and they're basically just a really big Malice.
What sort of?
We do have some angles. I hope they're not bringing them. My budget is already stretched enough. Let's not destroy it, guys.
What support were people bringing mostly with Triple Dummy? In terms of frigs, and I mean, you
It's
usually
kind
have
of all over
a
the
Logi and a command ship, but then the frigs below kind of range from like more offensive Enyo Eshker wings to more Eeyore focused.
There was a lot of Malices, but Malices are banned here.
Sure.
Merlins in Shield Comp and
You can go
Armor.
Tristans. We've seen a fair bit of with the 3 mids, and then some maybe rep drones or reward drones.
So what do you do with that support wing if you know you're in a Dommy mirror? I mean, if you know it's going to be Dommy versus Dommy.
Run away as fast as you can and try to survive.
You try to go something fairly durable, maybe like Jaguars or something, something that's going to be at afterburn and avoid some tracking a little bit. I don't know, but Assault frigs seem like they'd be better than Eeyore frigs in that comp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
That is true.
Helping out teams.
Interesting. All right. Well, we do have this match coming up, and we have moved it forward from 5:15 Eve time. Of course, this is because our 2 best-of-3 matches actually only became best-of-2 matches. So we are 2 matches ahead of schedule. So we've moved this one up, and it is Pandemic Legion in a best-of-3 versus Exodus. And the winner of this best-of-3 will go to the finals against Hydra Reloaded.
Yes. This is a very big match because whoever wins or this series, this best-of-3, whoever wins it is guaranteed prize ships.
Yes. And do you know what's kind of funny as well? Pandemic Legion and Exodus were both knocked out by Hydra.
Knocked down, yeah.
Oh, so it'll be a bit of a replay of the previous matches, I guess. Although Hydra and PL, if they end up in the same, we should be seeing some more crazy setups, I hope. I hope they've been keeping a little bit back.
Well, at that point, if both of them go into final, you have to remember that both sides will almost win the same ESC. So
Yes.
do you risk tournament, do you risk your stock of ships for not particularly much of gain, but then again, knowing that it would be perhaps BL and Hydra, it no longer is about ISK or
was gonna
ships.
say,
I was
there's
just
gotta
gonna
be
say, none of
some-
them want to finish
That
second.
point,
Pride
between
there.
those two, it
Yeah.
is about pride, and I think it would get very expensive. I hope Exodus knocks down BL.
Is this the money man talking now?
Yes,
Or-
somebody has to take care of the budgets.
Phalanx is at home crying right now.
He is indeed, and especially since there is no more moon minerals. Then again, we do have a crate rental program in drones called Brothers of Tangra. We do rent space for crate protection, and you're more than welcome to come and join us.
How the mighty have fallen from taking moons to advertising renting space. All right.
I know,
Well,
terrible.
we should have the match coming up now. I'm wondering if we do have some tournament cards up for the two teams just before we go into it. And maybe we can look at those before going into the match. But otherwise, this will be, I don't know.
It's really tough to say. I mean, if it's possible that Exodus just got into a rut and may not get out of it, it's also possible they're going to come out and surprise us with something really awesome.
Something Brent brought up too, which doesn't probably make any sense, but the possibility that in exchange for help against PL, Exodus made things easier on Hydra. That
But
that
then
fits
they killed
if
the
they,
tournament
yeah,
ships.
if they don't kill an
No,
Atana.
it's
and
just not. It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
something that happened. I'm pretty sure of that.
If they did,
Plus,
I
they would all like know that that's. I mean, why would Hydra risk that? I mean, how much?
They wouldn't. I mean, that,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes no
They
sense
know
at
we
all.
don't joke about
Yeah.
about weird stuff. Yeah.
I do
Well-
believe, though, that Brent has been helping them, so let's see how much that help has actually accomplished.
There's a lot of really awesome tinfoil hattery going on.
Yeah.
And it's,
Things are
yeah.
usually a lot simpler than.
They tend to be, and it's
Yeah.
also like, these teams also don't tend to choose really dumb options. Like going through the losers bracket only to fight
Right.
them again.
Right.
Mhm.
It's easy to it's easy to think of long shot,
Yes,
weird
yes.
explanations for stuff, but most of the time
Yes.
it's
Maybe
not gonna
Exodus
be
faked
case.
the moon landing.
Yes.
You never know.
Yeah, well, there's really only one way to find out, and that's the match, which is coming up here in just a few seconds. So we talked a little bit about bringing the dummies versus dummies. Would it be smart by Exodus to not bring the dummies now? To
Only if they thought
No.
they could beat dummies better with something else.
Yeah, if they have something that we haven't seen, that
Yeah.
like sure, but Dommies, they've practiced it obviously a lot. They've used it a ton in
Yeah.
the tournament. It seems like just something that they can bring it and then just hope to outplay their opponents.
I mean, conversely, everyone's expecting they bring the dummies.
Yeah,
Yes.
it'll depend on what they have, but we'll see. It's possible they've got some ultra secret amazing comp in their back,
I mean,
back pocket.
Like Hydra shows typically, just because people expect you to bring it doesn't mean you shouldn't. If it's what you're best at, it's fine for people to know that. You still can just bring what they're expecting and execute better than they can deal with. I mean, that's what both PL and Hydra have been doing in some of the matches so far in the tournament. But
I mean, if you really, really, really went far with it, I think you would probably expect that BL expects you to bring dummies, and therefore is going to bring dummies themselves, and therefore you counter the dummies. But that is something that I think Hydra would do. I don't think it's something that Exodus would do.
We may see Dommyception.
yeah, in poker, this is like called leveling yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It's
but these kinds of games we do play
Of course,
in
of course.
the tournament comms, especially against Hydras of this world. You do try to fake and
Sure.
try to bait them, but I think this is just a case of an old man who's had to go to the toilet and in opportune time.
If you are an old man and you're looking for a game to play, this is a great game to play. You can go to the toilet as much as you want. All right. Well, this will be super interesting. We will, of course, also be taking a break. This is a best of 3 to figure out who's in the finals, but we do have a break in between, so we're going to do one more match. It's Pandemic Legion versus Exodus. Then we're going to do a quick break. Then we're going to come back, finish the series, and move into the finals, which is a best of 5. So far, we know Hydra's in it, and this match will determine, well, the series of 3 will determine who else goes in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we started the day with 4. We're down to 3 now.
Yep.
And 2 more matches will be at 2. And
Can you, brave tournament historians, kind of talk to history for these two teams? Like, have they fought in the tournament before? How many times, and what's it like? How long
So,
have they been?
Exodus PL have never faced
I mean,
in the
PL
tournament
Hydra. If it's, I suppose it's a little ahead of
You're
time.
already
Okay,
giving
okay,
up on
okay.
That's a bit
Exodus.
too early
Okay.
so far.
PL Hydra is a very storied
Yes. Okay, we'll tell the story later.
competition.
If
but-
we get there.
If we get
Let's
there.
see. And by the way, if anybody thought that I'm being anything against old people, I am older than Seamus actually, so I know the troubles myself very well. Just a little Brent warning there.
All right, well, I've heard that the teams are now starting to move into the arena,
Mhm.
which means that the match is going to be underway shortly. So maybe let's get some predictions in here.
I think Pandemic Legion has a pretty good position here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would have been more kind of on the fence about this match before today when we saw some really kind of underperforming setup choices by Exodus. I think PL is the stronger of these teams at this point.
I'm going to go with Exodus simply because I believe that their triple dummy setup, they've practiced it more, they've used it more. I think they're going to win a dummy mirror match.
All right, so there's no dummies on the field.
Really?
Ooh.
What?
Wow.
No dummies.
They just like honored.
Yeah.
Maybe Seamus called them up and just said, you know what?
Yes.
You know what would be really bro of
Yeah.
you to do is not bring dummies.
I think I'll go with Fozzie's vote as well.
Did they bring Navy dummies in again?
I'm not sure. We'll see in a second.
Please tell
I
me
think
they didn't
that
bring Navy
that
dummies in again.
before today, I would have probably had thought Exodus would have done better, but after watching them today, I think Pandemic Legion's going to win this one.